Hi, I'm Lynda Hafner. I'm a top producing realtor at Key Realty in Central Massachusetts. I'm doing videos to help you understand the home buying process. So today's topic is going to go into a little bit more detail on how to choose an agent or realtor. Seems like it shouldn't be a big topic. However, I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions out there that I'd like to clear up so that you have a complete understanding of what you're doing. I wanted to take a minute to talk about this topic a little bit because as a seller, usually consumers will go out, they'll interview a couple different realtors, they'll get some background information, but when buyers go out looking for a home, they tend to just fall into the first agent they talk to or meet at an open house, which sometimes is fine. However, I also want to educate you a little bit about the choices that you're making and make sure that if you are making the biggest investment, could be of maybe your life, you want to make sure that the person you're using is an experienced, knowledgeable realtor. And I say realtor over agent because I personally believe that becoming an agent is super easy. You take the class, you take the test, and boom, you're an agent. People come in and out of this field frequently. There are many new people that come in, they think it's a quick way to make some money, find out it's not as easy as they thought, and then leave. When you hire a realtor over just an agent, you're guaranteed you're getting a higher level of professionalism. Someone who is committed to their profession. If they went to the trouble of belonging to the National Association of Realtors and taking the courses and the education that is provided to them through that organization and abiding by a strict code of ethics that needs to be retaken every 2 years, obviously this is someone who is dedicated to their profession. With an agent, you just don't know. So did you notice the little trick I did behind me here? I kind of crossed out the whole agent thing. Nothing personal to agents, truly. It's just that I do believe that you are going to get, as a consumer, so much better of a commitment, so much more ethical treatment than you would from an agent who's not committing themselves to the National Association of Realtors. So just a little plug there. Sorry, I had to do it. If you do just fall into a relationship and you start talking with someone and you are comfortable with them and they seem knowledgeable and experienced, just ask a few questions. The number one question that I would ask that is in your best interest as far as not only finding a home that you like, but also once you have an accepted offer, getting from the accepted offer all the way to closing, which is a 45-day period, you want to make sure that agent is full-time. There are so many part-time realtors out there, and what kind of service are you going to get from a part-time agent who's doing a full-time job during the day and then fitting this in their spare time? I tried being a part-time agent many years ago, and I could not keep up with the demands needed by my clients. Think about this. If you were about to go in and have surgery, would you be comfortable having a part-time surgeon do work on your body? I personally would not. I think buying a house is a huge investment. Do you really want to trust that investment with someone who's only doing this part-time? These are the things that people do not think about. They just, again, fall into an agent. What I'm challenging you to do is just give it a little bit more thought, understand the full picture, and make your decisions wisely so that, again, that you can empower yourself to make the best choices for yourself. Most home buyers have no idea that realtors can have different roles and relationships within a transaction. And I think that's why a lot of home buyers reach out to the listing agent of a home that they're interested in, because they don't understand the advantages and disadvantages to going with a list agent versus having your own buyer agent. So I'm hoping to go into a little detail now and explain the difference to you. Another couple of questions you want to make sure that you ask is just, how many years experience do they have? Do they guarantee satisfaction if you sign that buyer agent contract and for some reason you're not happy? Will they release you? Kind of an important question. If you're not located in central Massachusetts and you need help finding another agent, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to refer you to an agent that I know is good through our referral system in my company. Another thing you could do is contact a family or friend that has recent experience with an agent that they had a good success with. You can do that. You could go online, read reviews. I think reviews are important. You want to hear firsthand about the experiences that people who've worked with this agent have had. I think that's very valid. I know for me, I don't buy anything off Amazon unless I read the reviews. That's the number one thing I go to. And I think reviews as a professional should be viewed in the same way. Read those reviews, find out about the person that you hire so that you feel good about it and you know that it's a good choice. Then most of it, you really have to trust your gut. Make sure it's someone you're comfortable with. This person is not only going to help you find a house and hopefully educate you through the whole process, but also once you put the offer in, they're going to negotiate the offer for you, get you the lowest price possible and the best deal possible, which is not always an easy task in the seller's market that we're in. And they're also going to be walking you hand in hand through the entire process from offer acceptance all the way to closing, which is a 45-day period. So you want to feel good about the person. You want to feel like you have a good relationship, that you can talk to them, that they are responding to you quickly. When you text or call them, they answer you right away. These are all things you want to be aware of when you are choosing your realtor. Most home buyers have no idea that realtors serve as different roles within a transaction, depending on their particular job in that moment. And what I'm referring to is the difference between a buyer agent and a list agent. Now, the first time that you meet, hopefully for a consultation with a buyer agent to discuss what you want and what you need to find, they will present you with a disclosure form. It's not a contract. It's just a disclosure that says, hey, I'm going to represent you as a buyer agent. As a buyer, you really ideally want a buyer agency, because a buyer agency relationship means that realtor is got loyalty and duties to you as opposed to loyalties and duties to a seller. In Massachusetts, a realtor or agent could serve as 5 different possible roles: as a seller's agent, a buyer's agent, a facilitator, designated agent, or dual agency. So if you're entering into a buyer agency agreement with the realtor agent, you are assured that that agent, when you sign the contract, that agent is representing your needs. They're going to put your needs above all else. They have the duties of responsibility to you, to confidentiality, to loyalty. And that is really, as a buyer, that's the most ideal situation. If you are a customer going to the seller's agent, then the seller's agent is going to be obligated by law to get the highest and best price for their seller. Of course, they're going to talk to you and they're going to be able to help you with information, but they're not going to be able to recommend price to you. They're not going to be able to help you in the same loyal way that a buyer's agent will. So these are important distinctions that you want to understand before you choose your agent. In a dual agency relationship, the real estate licensee has to inform both parties that they are going to represent both the seller of the home and the buyer of the home as their clients. This is a relationship that I personally don't participate in. I don't think it's fair. If I help a buyer who is interested in my seller's listing, I state to them that I am representing the seller and that they would have to be a customer, because I just don't think it's fair to be a dual agent. It's fair according to Mass state law. It is allowed as long as it is consensual and informed in writing to both parties. But the disadvantages to being a dual agent is that you can't really give your full loyalty, your full opinion to either party, because you're trying to negotiate opposite ends of the extreme. Seller wants the highest price, buyer wants the lowest price. How do you represent both at the same time? I find that a conflict of interest. So if I originally started with a seller, I stay with my seller and treat the buyer as a customer. Not all agents work that way, and it's important for you as a consumer to understand that and understand what dual agency is and whether that is something you want to participate in. Designated agency is the relationship used to describe a situation where the buyer and the seller are both represented by realtors from the same company. So it's letting you know that yes, they work in the same company, however, you still have the same duties expected in a buyer agency normal situation and a list agency normal situation. In other words, the buyer agent and seller agent, even though they work for the same company, they're not in cahoots together. They are representing you. They have an obligation to do so, and that is what designated agency is. It's just our responsibility to inform you of that and let you know that about the situation. The facilitator relationship is a licensee helps a buyer and a seller with a transaction, and they treat the transaction and represent the real estate in an honest way, but they're not representing either the buyer or the seller. You really don't see that very often, at least not in Massachusetts where I am. I hope the explanation that I gave you describing the agency relationships clarifies for you how important it is to have a buyer agent representing you, because you will get a little more perks than you would with some of the different types of agencies. So once you choose the agent, sit down with them, talk about your wants, your needs, and ask some important questions so that you know if they are the right person for you. Find out if you're comfortable with them. Find out if they have full time availability so that when your schedule allows, they have time to see or talk to you. Make sure they're responsive to your needs. Ask them the important question, why should I hire you as a buyer agent? See what they say, and are they just in it for the money, or do they really enjoy helping people through this process? These are all questions you want to ask and find out so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Just a side note that I kind of like to include, that I find another misconception that buyers aren't aware of, is that buyers do not have to pay for a buyer agent, at least most of the time, unless you sign a contract saying with a particular buyer agent who's requesting a fee. I don't operate that way. I am paid by the commission that the seller pays to the seller agent. I'm usually paid whatever the MLS dictates that I am paid. When you do your homework and you ask the questions that are knowledgeable, you will empower yourself to make a decision on who the best person is to continue this journey with, because it is a journey. It should be a fun journey and one where you learn so much, and hopefully whatever agent you choose will make it a less stressful process, because it is a stressful transaction. I mean, you're investing a lot of money, and that in itself creates stress. So you want to pick someone that you are confident in, that you know knows their stuff. They have a good knowledge, they have experience, and they have your back. So have fun. If you're in Central Mass, I really hope you would consider me as your agent. And if you are looking for a recommendation, contact me. And I wish you all the best in whatever agent that you choose. Good luck. Have a great day.